Good morning, wonderful people of St. Paul. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Wesley Wright, your Un-Bougie foodie. It's a wonderful Saturday morning. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining me. Hope everyone has been having a great week. As always, this is a show about food, so I hope you're going to be hungry by the end of this, or at least during, or even before. But I am looking forward to bringing you information about just food in general. I mean, you know that's what I do. So let's start this off by me saying I am looking for, or at least to find, the best wings in St. Paul. Now, I know that seems like, okay, that might be a difficult task. There are so many little wing joints and so forth. But again, we're talking like top of the line. Ones that are just going to make you want to continue to go back repeatedly. And I admittedly do not know where all of them are. You know, my show is a young show. So I may not know where everything is, and that's why I rely on you all, my listening audience, to give me an idea of where certain spots are. I know that I have a few in mind, and I've done a little bit of research and asked around, asked other friends, coworkers, other listeners, and just tried to get their opinion and their thoughts on it. I'm going to start off with one that I do know of that is, man, I remember coming to St. Paul, or moving to St. Paul. I used to live in Hopkins, and I moved over into St. Paul, and, I just started with a new job and whatnot, and I had some friends, well, hey, I'm single, I cook, but, sometimes you just don't want to do the cooking. This was early on, folks, way early on when I moved over to St. Paul. But, I said, hey, where's a good pizza place or where I could get some good wings really quick? And I remember long ago, someone told me Hickory Hut. Now, there are still, again, I'm quite sure, a bunch others. But for whatever reason, this was the one that was on that person's mind at the time, and they mentioned it and said, Wesley, you got to go to this. You have to go to this place. They have the best wings, fries, shrimp, you have to go. So if you're not familiar with where Hickory Hut is, and really you should, because it's kind of, you pass it by on the green line, maybe driving on the road. It's located on University Avenue, 647 University Avenue West. That's in St. Paul, 55104. Most of the times, their hours, like today, it's from 10:30 to 9 p.m. And they do actually have a website. So, I mean, you could make a request for delivery. But certainly, they have a lot of wings, and I know the seasoning that they use, I love it. I mean, it's not just a standard seasoning, or deep fried and, a little bit of seasoning thrown on it or something. No, they really do take the time with the seasoning, and I would love to know what's in it. I really would. But, restaurants are never going to really give you their secret recipe and whatnot. But, hey. But, like I said, they are located on 647 University Avenue in St. Paul, 55104. And if you want to call them and just kind of, I guess, place an order to, or just find out any other additional information, their telephone number is 651-224-9464. Again, that's 651-224-9464. They have a lot of, like I said, different options that are on there. I'm looking at their menu right now, just in case you're wondering. um, Half bucket rib tips for $14.99. I don't know about their rib tips. I've never had them before. You know, Big Daddy's right down the street. Another place I'll talk about another time. They have some awesome rib tips. I gotta try Hickory Hut. So anybody out there that knows Hickory Hut, please let me know. Definitely let me know. And that will be actually part of the show. Throughout, me providing you information or just sharing information regarding these certain spots and so forth. If you have a suggestion out there for myself as the Un-Bougie foodie, and you want to share it with others in the community or across the city, please feel free and call the station. We look forward to hearing from you. The telephone number here is 651-200-3479. So again, if you have any wing spots or where you feel might be a best or top of the line wing spot to visit, please give me a shout out and let me know. Again, that number is 651-200-3479, 651-200-3479. Anytime that you get that urge, we're here. I'm here. The next one I want to talk about. Okay, so as you know, Revival has opened up, and I could talk about Revival on another level because it's fried chicken and it's Southern food and so many different other items that are available at Revival, and specifically Revival in St. Paul. Because yes, there is a Revival in Minneapolis. However, the one specifically in St. Paul, they're located at 525 Selby Avenue. Their telephone number is 651-340-2355. And again, 651-340-2355, 525 Selby Avenue. They also have a website, as always, and I apologize. Hickory Hut's website is hickoryhutstpaul.com. hickoryhutstpaul.com. Revivals is revivalfriedchicken.com. They have dry rub wings that I have tasted, and it is, man, I don't know how to describe it. Whatever ingredients they use to actually prepare this chicken. Now, this is, again, I'm talking about both their chicken. I tasted their chicken as well as their dry rub wings, and we're concentrating on wings right now, but man, I'm telling you, if you have not tried their fried chicken at Revival, and specifically the wings, please, it's going to have to be a wait, because as you know, Revival is very, very popular. Definitely the one on Minneapolis side is extremely popular, but St. Paul has its own character as well, because not only can you have rib tips, but you could also have takeout. So you could order your food and have it to go. The one in Minneapolis does not offer that. Sorry, Minneapolis. St. Paul, yeah. St. Paul's got it going on like that. Thank you, Revival. So, again, dry rub wings, folks, you'll be missing out if you do not try the dry rub wings at Revival in St. Paul. Again, if you have any suggestions, even if you don't call in, please feel free to visit any of my social media. I'm available on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. On Facebook as the Un-Bougie Foodie, Twitter as Un-Bougie Foodie, Instagram as the _ Un-Bougie Foodie. So even if you also want to leave an email, I'm accepting emails as well. So please feel free to also send me an email with any of your suggestions. And it doesn't have to necessarily be about wings. Today's subject or topic is definitely about wings. I have other subjects I'm going to be talking about, but first and foremost, I wanted to talk about wings. But my email is theunbougiefoodie@gmail.com. Again, theunbougiefoodie@gmail.com. So any of your suggestions are greatly appreciated. I would love to hear maybe any friends that have gone to Revival or the Hickory Hut thus far and what their experience was. If they felt that those definitely are ones that should be on this list. I'm quite sure that I know that there's one or two friends that have actually gone to one of those places. I'm setting you all up. That's what I'm doing. But in the meanwhile, let me mention about there is one that is by another place, and it's probably similar to I'll say, and I'm curious to find out why. I don't know if it's a franchise or whatnot, but you've seen A&J's, that's over on Lake Street, Fish and Chicken, and then I think another one is Hook's Fish and Chips, I believe. That one's over on, and I apologize if that name is incorrect, because it just always seems like there should be initials in front of the word fish and chips or fish and chicken. But there's one at the corner of Dale and University. It's like right next to Wendy's. Why is that though? Why do they have initials? Like the one I'm about to mention, it's D&J Fish and Chicken. And I mention this because it's nearby where I live, in St. Paul. But again, D&J Fish and Chicken. Interesting. I'm getting off topic. I need to swing back to the wings themselves rather than trying to figure out the initials. So if anybody has an idea why all of these places have initials in front of Fish and Chicken, please let me know. But D&J's, they are located at 1700 Rice Street. That's St. Paul 55117. Again, 1700 Rice Street, just north of Maryland. If you are familiar with Rice and Larpenteur, they are within that shopping center. And it always does smell good. But I mention it, one, because I have gone there. I did like it. But they right now have a Groupon that's available. So for a $15 value at $9, you go on Groupon. Yeah, you could get $15 worth of food, and specifically wings. You could definitely get wings. And they also do deliver, and they have a website. Their food is good. It really is. I mean, it is, when you are feeling for, it has such a wide variety of stuff aside from the wings, but they've got gyros, they've got catfish nuggets, popcorn chicken, of course the staples such as that I've seen it just at each one of these, crispy gizzards. I don't hate, don't laugh, but I'm sorry, I love gizzards. So fried gizzards at any one of these establishments, fish and chicken establishments, you have my heart. But again, buffalo wings or wings in general, they have a number of types of wings that are available. Um, I don't really like when places at times are called a greasy spoon, and maybe there's a reason why that is. But I like the fact that you could, just say, hey, that spot over there that's on Rice and Larpenteur. The chicken and wing place. Ah, dang. Sorry. Folks are things are falling down in the booth. But definitely to go there to have some wings. Take advantage of that Groupon. Again, for $9, you could get $15 worth of food. And how cool is that? I'm like, seriously, Groupon. There's a lot more other Groupons that we could talk about, but not today. Not right now. We're concentrating on wings. So, come on. I know that there's one of these spots that I've mentioned so far are ones that you probably have visited already. If not, I'll make sure to make them available or mention them again on my Facebook page or Instagram or Twitter. Just so that if you're following along on social media, you'll have an opportunity to see those addresses and maybe even pictures of places that I've gone to. I think I may have to actually go back to Hickory Hut to get a new picture. Well, to taste the wings, of course. But, man, it's been a couple of months. But you know how some places stay with you because of the flavor, because of how great the food was? That's Hickory Hut for me. And definitely Revival. Revival is on its other level. But Hickory Hut, because it's so neighborhood, I hope everybody agrees with me on that, because yeah, Hickory Hut is very accessible to many. You can get on the Green Line. You could just ask a friend, hey, can you take me down to Hickory Hut or down to University? They'll understand. They'll definitely understand. There is, now, as you know, I'm always talking about food in general. I know we focus on foods that are in, or spots that are in the east side of St. Paul, but I also focus on surrounding neighborhoods as well. I'm not going too far, at least not today, in reference to the wings, but there's a place called D Spot. Now, D Spot, they are located in Maplewood. And specifically, the address is 7129 10th Street North. And that's again in Maplewood, 55128. And I just thought, okay, I was out with friends, coworkers, I should say. Went for luncheon this past Tuesday. And we were at a Mexican restaurant nearby work. I have my secular job, and then there's my passion, talking about food with you. And so we were just having lunch, and somehow or another, the Un-Bougie foodie came up. And so we were sharing different places and areas of the city that I've ate at, or that they were suggesting that I should go to. And I just put out to the table, I was like, folks, where is the best wings in St. Paul? Because there are a number of people that were at the table they come over to St. Paul very often. And I was like, where in St. Paul would you go to get a great taste of wings? And I named some places. I mentioned Hickory Hut, and they agreed. But then someone, a coworker yelled out, D Spot. Have you been to D Spot? I was like, no, I've never heard of D Spot. D Spot. She was like, man, if you have not gone to D Spot, it will change your life. I love when people say that. It will change your life. And I think she may be right. Funny thing is that I went on the website, and the website is eatatdspot.com, and that's EATATD, the letter D, and then spot, SPOT.com. So eatatdspot.com. And I didn't know what to say. I really didn't, because literally I could talk about their menu like for the rest of the time, but their menu, and they have burgers. So I'm going to say that they have burgers. They definitely have burgers, and a kids menu, but their main focus is definitely on the wings. And I love their menu on how their wings are, and it's at different levels, because there are levels of heat, or sweet and savory, and so on. Well, I like how they break theirs down. It's categorized, and you'll understand what I'm what I'm saying in a moment. But so the first category, which the first two categories I'll say, is ones that everyday folks will stay within that range. They may even venture into the third category. So the first and second are savory and sweet. So again, savory, more flavor, more seasonings, spices possibly. On the sweet, you have your honeys, your caramel items, or ones that would be with molasses or peanut butter, just some very weird but wonderful wonderful ingredients that are being used. So, I'll give you an example. So for the savory, you're looking at, here's one: salsa verde, cilantro, garlic, onions, and chiles. And these wings are reasonably priced. So D-Spot, already I'm giving you a shout out. I have not been there, but someone has suggested, so I am going to have to make it a plan to go there and try them. Man, yeah, I hope they are they're ready for it. I'm trying to bring a crowd. That's what I'm trying to do, because I know that I'm not going to be able to go there and try all those wings myself. But for more on the savory, they have one that is caramelized onions with a sweet balsamic reduction. So that's referred to as the Frenchie. There's a teriyaki. There's soy sauce, pineapple, and orange. Um, I love their names that they're using. Here's one. It's called Black Widow. Um, Black Widow has soy glaze, cracked fennel, and a dry rub. Awesome. There is this one is interesting because it's PB&J, peanut butter and a grape reduction. So again, that's just the savory. That is just the savory. And man, there's so many. So that's just the savory. The next is the sweet. So the sweet, you can kind of get an idea of what I'm saying with caramels and all the maybe syrups and so forth. Maple, Mound of Joy. That one is seasoned coconut milk, chocolate, crushed almonds. That just sounds good. It sounds like a mix of definitely the sweet and savory that I would like. Here's one that's chicken and waffles. That's maple brown sugar, um, powdered sugar. Really? Wow. And then optional, you could have a berry sauce along with that. They have one that's strawberry, which is strawberry and balsamic simple syrup. There, oh wow. So I just got a suggestion from someone, and I'll read that in just a second. Thank you, Lucky. I appreciate that. So that was a sweet. Now I mentioned that there are different levels and so forth. So here are some of the spicy. So we've already covered savory, sweet. Here's spicy. Again, like I said, I'm going to talk about D-Spot a bit because they have such an extensive menu and variations of wings that they are doing. I was totally surprised by this, and so this suggestion has got me. Yeah. Call me a food nerd or whatever. It's got me geeked. It really does. But the spicy, some of them seem, ones that you're used to. Um, there's, of course, the standard, the buffalo. That one is just the D Spot's take on, or the standard wing or buffalo wing flavor. They have one called the Incredible Hulk, green coconut curry. Wow. Incredible Hulk, yeah. There's another one called, well, El Ranchero, which is ranch infused buffalo. That one sounds good. The Iron Man, equally sweet and spicy. So, okay, enough about D Spot and the specific ones, but the ones that I really wanted to mention, they have three other additional categories, and I'm not afraid to mention them or even to scare anybody, but it's just these levels. For spicy, they have the different flames. So spicy has a flame of 1. The next one that I'm about to mention is haunted. It has a flame of 2. The fifth one is Scorpion's Lair, which has 3 flames. So you could see how hot they're getting. And then this one is called Death Row. I'm yeah. I, I will tell you, just from the price, this should probably give you an idea of how hot, or maybe how the Scoville level, which is the heat level on, for any type of peppers and so forth. The Scoville level on these wings, or within the ingredients or spices that they've used to put on these wings, will probably, yeah, steer you away from them for a while. So, a good example, seppuku. Um, Seppuku is, it's, as they described it, it is reserved for samurais, one that may earn the right by defeating all scorpion wings. So this one, again, as I mentioned, there are only 2 in this category, and you get 4 wings, and it's $12. The other, which is, I believe I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, Saizosha. And it says, to order this one, you must have survived all other hot wings. And in that one, you have 4 wings for $16. So again, as I mentioned, the price should tell you what the heat level would be on just the 4 wings. 4. The other wings, like I mentioned before, sweet, savory, and so forth, you could get 6 wings for $7, 12 wings for $12, so it's $1 a wing or something. But man, I want to actually mention, there is one that a friend to the show, Lucky, has stated that the Bulldog in Lower Town He mentions that this place has great wings too. They also have had that he's had garlic wings, real garlic on on the wings. Um, and then he suggested those that want heat, the Reaper wings. Um, I think mine would be the Weeper, like crying is probably what I would. Yeah, if I had that. Um, he mentioned that it's very busy and that he craves the deep fried pickles. So thank you, Lucky, so much for that. I really appreciate that suggestion. Anyone else have a suggestion? Again, as I mentioned, you are welcome to call into the show and share that suggestion. The number here at WEQY is 651-200-3479. Again, 651-200-3479. We are taking your calls. If you'd like to share any of your suggestions regarding the wings. We're mentioning wings. It's all about wings right now. But I didn't finish giving that information about D Spot. They are open from Sunday to Thursday from 11 to 9 p.m. and then Fridays from 11 to 10 p.m. If you want to make a phone call to them, you would like to place an order, or I think just go in. Just go in. I mean, forget about trying to make a phone call. I mean, I guess you could call it in and say that if you want to place an order for a certain type of wings. No, I think you should just go in. Go for the experience. But their telephone number is 651-730-7768. 651-730-7768. Once again, they are located, the D Spot is located at 7129 10th Street North. That's Maplewood, 55128. And I was talking to a friend about this last night, because I knew I was going to talk about it on the show. But, yeah, and he said he was willing to go. I am certainly not opposed. I want somebody to go with me. I want someone to go with me. So anyone else out there can definitely come along, because the more the merrier. And there's a lot of wings to cover at D Spot. A lot. I'm. It could be a little intimidating because you're looking at the menu and it's like, wow, where do I begin? Where does it begin? Man, wow. Anyway, I wanted to touch on, there are a few places, new places or so forth, that have opened up in, I'd say St. Paul, but the Midway area. Again, I'm covering. I try to cover definitely east side of St. Paul, but I also want to invite folks to, even from east side, to go into like the Midway area, or Midway to come into St. Paul, vice versa, or folks from Minneapolis or whomever has the opportunity to actually hear the Un-Bougie Foodie as well as WEQY. Come to St. Paul. St. Paul, you're missing out on fun opportunities as well as food opportunities. Have a great experience by coming into this portion of the city. WEQY is located in the east side of St. Paul, and all up and down Payne Street, you have a wide variety of different food options that you could choose from. And more restaurants. As you can see, I mentioned Revival already. Very popular restaurant, as well as others that I've talked about: Handsome Hog, Tongue in Cheek, Cook St. Paul. These are all restaurants that are establishing themselves within the east side of St. Paul, or St. Paul or East St. Paul area. Very near within the neighborhoods, if you would. Don't have to drive very far, but you could have a wonderful food experience. And that's what I'm here for, to help you have that food experience and find someplace in your local area that you might be able to enjoy. I was mentioning that there's someplace new that is opened up in the St. Paul and Midway area. And I've always wondered, how come we always have to go out somewhere far to go to, I don't know, fun entertainment for even your children. And you don't have to, I don't think you have to do that now. Go out a few miles, outside the cities to have something fun to do. Definitely there are other activities. There's bowling, of course. That's important. That's fun. But why not have something like miniature golf? You ever thought about having miniature golf? Seriously, within St. Paul, you're thinking, where is there a place in St. Paul that there's miniature golf? There is some place. And it's called Can Can. Can Can Wonderland, actually. It offers a mini golf in the St. Paul Industrial Midway area neighborhood. So if you are familiar with where, I was going to say Menards is. If you're familiar with where Menards is on Pryor Avenue, simply go north on Pryor, and you'll reach it. The address for Can Can Wonderland is 755 Pryor Avenue. Again, that's St. Paul, and 755 Pryor Avenue. And they have a wide variety of stuff. I mean, aside from the fact that they offer the miniature golf, it has, and we're not, as I always talk about, this is a show about food, but adults, when you take your children there, you're just as covered. You won't have to worry about, okay, I need some type of libation. It is actually it's a family restaurant, or a family entertainment center, we'll say. But it's, again, located in St. Paul's Hamlin Midway neighborhood. And it's described as providing or combining art and a place to play and create a one of a kind art immersion environment for people of all ages, as well as being able to enjoy. Can from what I understand, they had been working on this for quite some time, and I remember hearing about this in city pages, I'd say at least a year and a half ago. And you wonder where exactly were they were going to have entertainment like that, within the cities. Where were they going to find the space? But they were successful in definitely finding some place, and I'm glad and thankful that it is in the St. Paul Midway area. Again, it's being described as art-based for fauna and flora for you to explore and to delight in. So there's mini golf. There are pinballs. You have food options. It's a lot to. It's really quite a lot to enjoy. And you're thinking, okay, well, what else do they have to offer? I mean, yes, you could do mini golf, but think of all the options as a kid when you were growing up, the things that you were able to do when you went to some place that had a mini golf. Food, drinks options, and the thing about it is that you won't have. It's not. I'll say foo-foo food, if you would. These are just simple, hot dogs, nothing extra. It's just hot dog rollers, having hot dogs available, sandwiches, No real burners or fryers. Again, just all very simple food that is just going to be for the enjoyment of anybody that goes to visit. Um, Google Maps, you could find it really, really easily. So I know everyone has an Android phone, whether it be an iPhone or Android. You could find it. It's on Pryor Avenue, right off of University. Just go north and you'll find it. The interesting thing is that the founders, they're not new to the Twin Cities or creating, art pieces, if you would, for the Twin Cities. If you're familiar with the Walker Arts designed mini golf, they are, again, people that are behind such art projects. Um, I think Soap Factory is actually nearby a friend that lives over by the Stone Arch Bridge. So if you're familiar with in that area, these are founders of, like the Soap Factory's haunted house or haunted basement. They partnered with, a Bitter Cube. Bitter Cube is for, when the adults need to have a beverage after their young people are mini golfing and having fun and enjoying themselves. The adults have the opportunity to also do that as well. Um, I'm looking at just one or two pictures. I tried to get my research from a variety of different places, and City Pages was showing just a few things that they, as well as looking on their website as well. A very creative spot. They opened on the 12th specifically. They had a soft opening earlier, and then, of course, their grand opening was this past, what's the 12th? Past Tuesday? Or was it Wednesday? I think was it Tuesday? No, it was Thursday. Today's the 14th. I apologize. So this past Thursday, they had a grand opening. And at least looking from the pictures, and others that have actually already visited, it's a great time. So there's something that you could actually take your kids to. Nachos, mini donuts. They got me at mini donuts. They hit me with mini donuts. No, mini donuts. They got mac and cheese. If you want to get that on your hot dog. Wow. I tell you, I'm glad that places such as Can Can Wonderland, as well as other restaurants and eateries, are recognizing that St. Paul is a place to be reckoned with, a city to be reckoned with. I mean, it's not. I love Minneapolis as well, but St. Paul has got to really get some recognition, and I appreciate all the creators of new foods that are coming over into this side of the city and saying, hey, we need to invest. Definitely invest on this side. The east side is looking for you. Just as I am looking for you out there. All my audience listeners, hey, you're just as important to the show. You live within the east side of St. Paul. Let me know of a place that you're interested in. You could always, again, visit my Facebook page at the Un-Bougie Foodie and let me know of some place that you feel that should be reviewed, or for me to actually share my food experience. Visit the Un-Bougie Foodie Facebook page, or else Instagram and Twitter. And again, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your suggestions. That is what we are here for. I would love to actually, there is one other place that I want to talk about before the ending of the show. Thank you all for taking the time out to listen today. I really appreciate it. please make sure that you are tuning into WEQI, again, your local community radio station. Make sure that you're showing support to the radio station and to the show hosts as well, as they're putting on or producing their shows. We're doing this because it's a passion. It's something that we like to do. We want to have the community as involved. So please make sure that you're supporting the shows as well as your show host by tuning in. And if you're unable to listen to us on your radio station, driving in your car, be aware you can actually listen to us across the nation. I have family member and friends that are listening by downloading the TuneIn app. So you could stream this show live as well as other shows by, again, downloading the TuneIn app. And that is free on your phone. Just simply look for WEQY in doing a search. After you've downloaded the app, and start tuning in. There's no reason why you can't tune into WEQY and listen to my show, The Un-Bougie Foodie, every Saturday at 10, only on your favorite St. Paul radio station. That was a plug, a bad plug. There was one other place that I visited, and this was more so on it was breakfast time. We're all hungry and we need something to eat in the morning. And this was Wiseacre Eatery. They are located at 5401 Nicollet Avenue. That's Minneapolis, 55419. And they are a scratch. How do I want to describe it? They are totally local sourced foods, all scratch. So everything is coming from local farmers and grown locally. Nothing is really being outsourced or being shipped in. These are vegetables and eggs, chicken, things that are made here locally within the cities of Minneapolis or St. Paul. They are using those resources not only to support these farmers, but people want to have, there's something about having scratch food that is just, it's so much more delicious. Again, that's not to take away anything at all from, if there are restaurants that are sourcing in items. Some of them might be maybe a bit exotic, or they feel that there's a different, maybe to tie a certain type of meat or something, or a certain type of cut that maybe is not available here within the local market. The local market is just as important, because you're getting great tasting food, you're supporting your local farmers as well as businesses as they're preparing these. But Wiseacre, they have such a wide range of items on their menu. I know that when I went there with I believe it was probably 2 weeks ago. Have to keep on budget. We here at the Un-Bougie Foodie, we do things budgeted minded. You have to stay on budget. I do my research and then try to find places, and even going to certain restaurants. But again, you have to stay on budget. So I'm bringing you information on places that one that I'd like to go to, but then others that I have gone to, and it may be not few and far between, but on a weekly basis, it will give you an opportunity to say, okay, well, he doesn't go 3 times a week, but at least he goes once a week. I went there about 2 weeks ago, and it was a wonderful brunch. Um, the interesting thing is that the special plate of the day is what I had, and it was a wonderful hash. Um, I know that a friend that went with me had, I believe it was a poutine, and that itself was a special plate of the day as well. The poutine, it was so different and awesome because here it had the regular fries, if you would. It had, I believe that was cheese curds, but then microgreens on top. But I believe it was mustard greens or mustard greens that were underneath. Now, mind you, I like them, but I understand that probably the moisture from the greens underneath caused maybe the fries to be a little bit softer for my friend that was eating it as well. But I enjoyed it. I only had a small piece, but it's one that I shared, or at least will have shared on my Facebook page. But the ingredients, I mean, just looking at the photo already again, has me wondering if I need to go back there sooner than later. Mine was a mixture of, and this was just a hash. It was of root vegetables, so potatoes. There were sweet potatoes in it, cabbage, red cabbage, then spinach. Then spinach was in with the scrambled egg that was placed on top with an aioli sauce. With microgreens, and then a small piece of ham. Just off the chain type of food. Again, all scratch. When you find places that provide you with great food, you really tend not to kind of care probably what distance that you have to drive. This is one that is outside of St. Paul, but again, it was an invitation, and so I wanted to use that opportunity. One, I'm not ever being there before, but two, for those that would also like to take a little bit of a drive to some place that has really great food. I know that in the past, I would kind of equate them to Cook St. Paul, but Cook St. Paul is a different level for me. I mean, the eggs Benedict that they serve there, the hollandaise sauce, just tasty and just amazing. So even though Wiseacre is great, I would say that it's similar to that of Cook St. Paul. So again, I hope that doesn't really, we're not comparing them. It's just that they're in two different parts of the cities. One is in Minneapolis, and then the other is in St. Paul. So I still want to give a shout out to Wiseacre. Wiseacre, like I mentioned, is located at 5401 Nicollet Avenue, south in Minneapolis, 55419. They do brunch and lunch. They don't accept reservations, but they do accept reservations for dinner, so keep that in mind. And very popular place. First come, first serve. But again, their food is scratch. So locally, enjoy foods that are coming from your local farmers. That's all I could say about that. Really, it's like they know how to cook food. A number of these restaurants really do, especially when they're using local grown ingredients or meats, going to their local farmers markets to produce wonderful dishes. So again, shout out to all the different restaurants that I have gone to and talked about this week. Wiseacre for certain, Hickory Hut. I plan certainly to go to D Spot. That is not to say that I still don't need your information or your suggestions. So please visit my website or Facebook page, I should say, at the Un-Bougie Foodie, and provide any suggestions to where the best wing spot is within your area. And hopefully I'll air it on the air next week. As we come to a close, I want to again thank you so much for joining myself, the Un-Bougie Foodie, on this glorious Saturday. As always, as I end the show, just want to again thank you, but remind you never to let anyone determine what type of foodie you are, because really, it is all about the food.